Fairy Tales 4. The Little Mermaid. A long, long time ago, in the deep part of the wide ocean, there was a mermaid kingdom. The king of the mermaid kingdom has 6 very lovely daughters. They are beautiful, pure, and kind. Every day in the depths of the ocean to play freely, life is carefree. But for the young mermaid princesses, although the life of the mermaid kingdom is very happy, but too dull. They yearn for the life of the human kingdom, because when they were young, their grandmother often told them stories about humans. When grandmother was young, she used to observe the human kingdom at close range for a long time at the surface of the sea. In the memories described by her grandmother, the lifespan of humans is much shorter than that of mermaids, and life is always full of hardships and difficulties, but they are always positive, supportive, and brave to challenge. Grandmother encouraged the mermaid princesses to observe human life and behavior, as they created many interesting things. The laws of the mermaid kingdom stipulate that mermaid princesses become adults at the age of 15. After reaching adulthood, they can swim to the surface of the sea and observe everything in the human kingdom. As time passes, the mermaid princesses come of age one by one. Every year, one mermaid princess, with the longing and desire for the world at sea, swims to the sea to look at the human kingdom and brings back many wonderful stories to share with her sisters. The one who can't wait to swim to the surface is the youngest mermaid princess. She has a beautiful singing voice. When she sings, all the sea creatures who hear her singing will stop for it, so she is especially loved by everyone. Her sisters also like to surround her, telling her interesting stories of the human kingdom. In particular, the little princess will not only open her eyes wide because of the novelty, but also will sigh backwards at the unbelievable events. Exaggerating and adorable reactions always make the sisters happy. The day she turned 15, the little princess finally looked forward to the permission to swim on the surface of the sea. She excitedly swam to the surface of the sea, where everything is so new to her. She saw the blinding sunlight, heard the seagulls chirping, felt the warm breeze, and smelled the seawater in the air. She happily picked up the seawater with her hands and splashed it upward with force. Even the water droplets hitting her face and hair could make her laugh. Just then, she saw a large ship approaching her, and the little princess could see from afar that there were many people on the deck dressed in fancy clothes, seemingly throwing a lively party. The young man was being presented with various gifts. She saw the prince smile charmingly at the gift givers and heard him speak in a gentle voice about his views on the gifts. The young princess was so absorbed that she did not notice that a continuous dark cloud was approaching. Suddenly a violent wind and rainstorm came down, and the ship began to shake violently in the wind and waves. Although the prince tried hard to swim to the surface, the waves kept coming and he was soon unable to struggle and lost consciousness, seemingly about to sink to the bottom of the sea. Seeing the prince in danger, the little princess cannot sit idly by, but even if it is good at swimming mermaid, in such a big wind and waves can only barely survive, and even cannot maintain balance, but she still risked her life to rush forward to hold the prince. However, the huge wind and waves soon made the little princess lost direction, and in a flash was far away from the position of the ship. She had to use all her strength to hold the prince's head to the surface, as far as possible to keep him breathing. I do not know how long it lasted, and finally hold until the wind and waves calmed. The little princess swam towards the shore with the prince, almost exhausted, with only her remaining willpower to hold on and push him to the beach. She got close to the prince's handsome face and made sure he was still breathing well before she couldn't resist kissing him gently on the forehead. Then she immediately blushed and hid in the distant seawater, quietly waiting for someone to come to his rescue. At this time, not far from the church, just out of many people, a young girl found the prince. She quickly called some people to save the prince. The prince woke up. The little princess breathed a sigh of relief, before relaxing the body, silently sinking to the bottom of the sea. After returning to the Mermaid Kingdom to rest for a few days, the little princess regained her strength and immediately shared her experiences with her sisters, but compared to what she had seen on the sea, the little princess was more focused on the prince, and she happily told them over and over again. This incident passed a few days. The little princess is still very worried about the prince's safety. Full of the prince's figure that day, the little princess feels as if she is in love with the prince. She told her heart to her sisters, hoping that they can help her. Looking at the haggard little princess, the sisters could not bear to find out the prince's country and residence for the little princess, but the prince may not board the ship again into the dangerous sea, so it is probably difficult to meet with the little princess again. But unexpectedly, the little princess has made up her mind to see the prince again, so she went to visit the sea witch, and asked her whether she had the ability to help. The sea witch thought, and told the little princess that there is indeed a magic potion can make the mermaid's fish tail into 2 legs, so that she can walk on land near humans. But this magic potion is a kind of poison for mermaids. It needs to be tempered with voice. The little princess whose voice is taken away will no longer be able to sing the most beautiful song, and the moment you drink it, the tail of the fish will be as painful as tearing. Even after turning into human legs, there is no way to walk smoothly. Every step will be as painful as stepping on a needle. And worst of all, with 2 legs of the mermaid, there is no way to return to the bottom of the sea. The sea witch also said that the magic potion also has terrible side effects. If the little princess and the prince can fall in love and get married, then the magic potion will reduce the damage. But if the prince marries another person, then the little princess will turn into foam on the morning of the prince's wedding. The little princess thought for a long time, but she could not give up her love for the prince, so she still asked the sea witch to prepare this medicine for her, and drank it before dawn. The little princess endured the gradual onset of severe pain. Through 1,000 flying kisses to her sleeping relatives, her heart seemed to crack into pieces, and quietly left. When the little mermaid swam to the surface, she had grown complete legs. She endured the pain of walking to the prince's palace and fainted. When she woke up, the prince was standing in front of her. The prince gently asked her various questions, but the little mermaid has lost her voice. She can only use a variety of expressions and gestures to communicate with the prince, but the prince did not mind, provided her with a comfortable place to live and food, and took her to visit places. The prince takes good care of the little mermaid, and he knows that the little mermaid almost does not want to be separated from him at all. The prince even learned to dance after she became acquainted with him. When people are fascinated by her soft and graceful dance, no one knows what kind of pain she endures. But soon after, the little mermaid learned that the king and queen had already chosen a bride for the prince, the princess of the neighboring country. Is also the day of the disaster. From the church came out to find the prince of the girl. The prince woke up that day and the first thing he saw was her, thinking that the neighboring princess had saved him, and the two soon fell in love and decided to be together for life. The night before their wedding, a grand party was held on the ship, announcing the starting point of their encounter. The little mermaid ignored her heartache and the severe pain in her feet and danced for them at the party, which was her last day with the prince. As night falls, the poor little mermaid walks to the side of the ship, remembering her family and home in the sea. Silent tears slide down the sea. Suddenly, the sisters appeared. In order to save the little princess, they went to ask the sea witch to help. The sea witch used the sisters' hair and then cooked a pot of magic potion, so that they put the medicine on a sharp knife, so that they told the little princess, as long as the sharp knife into the chest of the prince before dawn, so that the magic potion to take away the heart of the prince. The little princess will be able to regenerate the growth of the fish tail back home under the sea, and this is the last chance. The little mermaid, trembling with a sharp knife into the prince's bedroom, looking at the sleeping prince. She still loves the prince. She could not help but once again gently kissed the prince's forehead, and resolutely turned around and jumped into the sea. Dawn, the people woke up. How could not find the little mermaid? The waves on the side of the boat only jumped a bright foam.